Lama Live, Escaping Over the Border edition. We're just about to cross from New South Wales into Victoria, heading home for the first time in 5 weeks. Happy to be heading home, Von?
Yes, absolutely.
It's been a fun time in Sydney, plus a few other adventures from Sydney, but our time there is done. I think the weather's now okay in Melbourne, so we'll head home there and continue our adventures there. For the first people who haven't seen these before, these are Lama Live. They are just sort of general cycling discussion of what we've been up to. Mostly bike related because that's what we just talk anyway. They can be downloaded in MP3, links below to pull these down via MP3 because there's not much visual going on except us sitting in the car and overtaking horse floats on a freeway. So you had your final ride in Sydney today, Von. How was it? You went out with the Bike Bug crew?
Yeah, they were great. So they were so welcoming, those guys. Their shop in close to Mascot where we were staying. I've been rocking up the last few weeks in preparation for L'Etape, and my final ride was this morning, and it was great to join up with the guys and say thanks, and and they were saying come back again. Like, oh, I don't know when I will be back, but it's nice to have the door open. Yeah, have a local crew to show you around. Absolutely.
You've got some footage on the GoPro.
Yeah, hopefully you can see some of that now.
I'll have to go through it and virtually live through you because I wasn't able to get up out of bed.
Yeah, it was a bit grey this morning. The sun came out at the end. We'll see if it captured all of that.
Yeah, now speaking about riding around Sydney, I mentioned in the last Lama Live, or one of the Lama Lives, they all roll into one for me, the article that Cadell Evans was quoted in saying that riding around Sydney is terrible, he'll never do it, he hates it. It was a really negative article about riding in Sydney. Link below to an article posted today or published today by Michael O'Reilly, which is really, really well balanced.
Yeah,
it talks about it from a perspective of someone who lives in Sydney, who rides in Sydney, and he gave it the proper balance, that an article that I thought should have been written like with Cadell's article. It should have been put together a lot better than just, rah, cycling in Sydney and shit. It's not. You find your way around. And Michael's article below, really good, well balanced, addresses the same issues that I've discussed in trying to crack the code of riding around Sydney in the last few weeks. A much better balanced article. But having said that, we were discussing it before in the car. Most people probably won't read that article because it's well balanced, it's well written, and there's no controversy in it. It's just a nice article he talks about the bridge things. It's sensible, and what works online is things that are not sensible, such as having a Tour de France star come out and they sort of cherry pick a few quotes. Yeah. Speaking of cherry picking, it's cherry season.
Cherry season here in Australia. In the centre console, we should have a little snack pack of flip that around, Shane. Fresh cherries.
So good.
Yeah.
Up at Bright every year, the Tour of Bright, if we're there, there's always cherries for sale on the side of the roads. They're super cheap. These ones are quite expensive though because the cherry season was pretty crap, but love good cherries.
Yeah.
We've already smashed a hole. We bought two. We bought two of those packs. One has disappeared before we even got out of the car park. So, and it's like the country fruits is so much better. It's a fruit.
Straight from the farm.
Not a vegetable. Straight from the farm. So, look, the supermarkets have them in Melbourne, but goddamn, they're expensive. So, if cherries on the side of the road, brilliant stuff. Von, we had a question about your glasses.
I'm actually not even wearing them.
Not even wearing them. They were. Somebody asked, where are they? They're here. Okay, somebody asked about what glasses Von was wearing in the other video. I thought they were talking about your Oakleys because we were cycling in the video, and they said, no, the other ones, these ones, they're
from a women's clothing shop in Australia called Witchery.
It's got Witchery, which is just a women's retail store.
So the concept is that they're like the gold Ray-Bans, but I'm not paying hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for cash sunnies.
I think they look like Ray-Bans. It's got the word Diane written on it, which is actually your mum's name. That's kind of weird. They're the Diane range from Witchery, so no idea. They're kind of Ray-Ban style, so if anyone's looking at those. What else randomly has come through this week? It's been a pretty busy week. So the underground car parking. So where we've been in Mascot, it's a brand new housing development, multi-storey. It was ex-industrial area for the airport. Now it's just housing estates going up everywhere. Right next to us was another high-rise that no one's living in yet. So there was all this underground car park that was beautiful concrete and empty. There was nothing there. It's been fenced off for weeks, and I've been eyeing it off. We spotted a hole in the fence. You know where I'm going with this. We spotted a hole in the fence. I'm like, it wasn't big enough to fit a bike through. No. The other day, they left the gate open.
So we went for a roll.
So we spent some quality time the other night rolling up and down, having a bit of an indoor crit, doing a few skids and things, but just having fun on a bike. That was pretty cool. Speaking of the video we filmed for that, there's also a travelator. Are they travelators? They're not escalators, they're travelators that are an incline that look like a big smart trainer. So I've jumped on my bike and gone, okay, let's have some fun. I've loaded Zwift iOS on the phone, put it on my handlebars, paired to my Bluetooth power meter, and then rode up the incline. And yeah, it was Zwift indoors on just a bit of fun anyway. We've been eyeing off this elevator for a while and we made sure security wasn't around so we could rip up and down the elevator. So I did that, and that was part of another video that will be out anytime soon regarding a piece of software I've just mentioned. And I thought, oh, look, the little snippet that I did of me going down the escalator, and Von's gone, jump on the top tube like Sagan. So I've jumped on the top tube and gone down and had a bit of fun with it. That video, I uploaded that little tiny snippet to Instagram. Something happened. Now, with Twitter, there's analytics. With YouTube, with this, there's analytics. You can see sort of what's worked, what hasn't. With your blog, there's web hits and things. Instagram has no analytics. You've got no idea really where the traffic's coming from. You can see how many views you've got, how many likes and things. Yeah. But this video, it grew and grew and grew and grew in views. So it's currently on last night. Here's how many views it was at the train station last night. 9,118 views on Instagram. It's obviously hit one of the preferred videos, or here's a video for you likes, but there's no analytics at all we can get out of it, so we don't know what's going on. Have a look at this though. I mean, it's a cool little video. We didn't think it was going to get this many hits whatsoever. It's actually part of another video I'm yet to release. So you can see there, 9118, and this thing grows in real time. There, 9126, 9131, and our train's here. All right, gotta go. So it was around 9,000 or so last night, and growing. And I thought last night we sat down and done some more work before we went to bed, and I thought I might crack 10,000 views. To me, that's phenomenal for Insta. I'm not a huge Instagram user. I go on the boat with that.
Especially for video.
Yeah, for video, because not many people know you can even double click and like a video. It's not sort of that easy. Oh, yeah, it's just kind of, video's different on Instagram anyway. That grew past 10,000. That's currently sitting on 15,184 views.
What?
I don't know, but the actual interaction, there's not a lot of comments and there's not a lot of likes. There's 450 likes on that. But just from an analytical point of view, I don't know where those hits are coming from. I think it's gone into one of the recommended videos or suggested videos if you like cycling. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, there's a couple of followers from it, but not a hell of a lot. So in just talking then, it was 15,184. I'll hit refresh. It's 15,187. So just in talking then, there were another, 3 views. I don't know where they're coming from. Anyway, I'll take it. It's kind of cool. It's a bit of fun. It looks really polished, but that was just sort of Von holding the camera and us. It's just ad hoc. It's just doing what we're doing anyway. Like even without the camera, we're still doing that. So it's kind of cool to be able to bring these cameras along, and even this discussion here, the kind of the shit we talk is just,
If you can hear
good to have you along for the ride.
Weather we're having.
Oh yeah, it's actually pissing down rain now. We've left Sydney, it was 34 degrees. Oh, check out the current temperature now.
Oh, it's 15.
So we left Victoria because it was such bad weather and it was a long winter. So we've just driven from New South, we've just hit Victoria. It's gone from 34 degrees to 15, and I am not joking. Oh, sad pandas all around.
Yeah.
So that video on Instagram, that's pretty funny. I'll play that as part of my discussion here, so you're not just seeing things, raindrops falling on our heads. But that's a bizarre one, and you never know what's going to work. That video, that was like, look, I wanted to ride up and down the escalator, and I would have done it by myself. But yeah, Von just happened to be there, and it was late night. Heaps of fun. Alrighty, what else is happening in the world of Lama Live and Super Von? So I've had a few companies approach me this week because the channel is still growing quite large. So there's a few exciting things happening. A lot focusing around the tour down under as well. So we're super keen to get over there. There's a lot of people we'll be talking to. And for me, I'm like, execute now. Don't delay. I don't like this, with anything with business. What does it take 6 weeks to do anything with a business? I'm like, let's take 6 hours. I'll email you back like that if I can get to you. And if I'm there, I'll shoot you through all the documentation on the channel, the analytics, the future projections and things like that. And most companies are happy with that. Some are like, whoa, way too much, but I'd rather over-provide than not provide at all.
But who's the real asset here?
The asset of people watching. It's you guys. So I'm super conscious of that. That's why I'm in the comments all the time. and I just get the general vibe and the feel of what I should be covering and what I shouldn't. There's a few products that I'm not going to even touch.
You've got to keep it relevant.
Yeah, so acutely aware of that, and like my true asset, and I do put this in my little channel summary, the value is people watching. It's not me having things, it's not the company being able to sell things via me, it's what value it provides people to watch, because without people watching, it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
It really is. And a lot of companies are really new in this space and don't quite get the analytics and the projections and the future think I'm putting around the channel. So there's a lot of hard work going in the background. Anyhow, I'll try and keep it on topic, unlike these chats, which are a bit of off topic, but a bit of behind the scenes as well. Yeah. So a lot of cool stuff coming up. This week, I mean, Flux has been a big one. Everyone's been waiting for the Flux. It's been coming out. And it's been a real, not eye-opener week, but a change in philosophy, I guess. There's a lot of people doing what I do, all in different ways. So DC Rainmaker, James Gill, Titanium Geek, there's myself, there's a number of other reviewers. And I would call it sort of a friendly competition about who can get what first. I'm usually at the back end of the queue, being in Australia. But we also have got the Flux at the same time, and we've all been sort of talking in the background with each other on what we've seen. Very interesting stuff, and we're all sort of collaborating together.
Yeah,
so, which makes the quality of all our content a lot better. Some people will read DC Rainmaker stuff, some people will read James's stuff, some people will read mine, some people will read all three. I encourage people to read all three, even more, to get the general feel of, hey, what's your experience, and what yours experience. So it's been really good this week. So a few conversations with both Ray and James, Titanium Geek. I'll put the links to those guys' Flux things below. Look, I put my Flux video out, did really, really well. Two concerns with the Flux that I haven't, I've got to sort of dance around this very carefully because I could really harm consumer confidence, and that's not my intention at all. My Flux is broken. I'll say it straight out. I busted it. It developed a bit of a squeak. I sent an email straight away to the team at Tax, and they're like, Shane, yep, no worries, mate, box it up, don't write it, box it up, we'll get you one ASAP. So the customer service there was great. I continue to write it.
In true Mythbusters style.
That's probably about it. You know how Mythbusters, they can't blow something up, it's just more explosives? Well, I kind of broke mine. I would, like, to be honest, what was put in the video was a very small portion of the stresses I was putting the thing through. I gave it absolute hell, and they admitted it was a manufacturing defect with my model, or the version that I had, and the replacement was on its way. But I continued to write it. I wanted to get the stuff out ASAP. I wanted to test a few theories. I wanted to do a few power comparisons. Ray's given me access to his DC Analyzer utility, so we can both present data in a similar way across our audiences, which is just brilliant. Like, he didn't have to do that, but we've now got the same system to report and analyze and discuss. Which again, for the audience, for the value for people watching and who really want to get into the data, it's really, really cool. So I gathered all this data, and I've got the data, I'll talk about it, but my trainer kind of broke halfway through.
Yeah.
Quick analysis on that, just before I even do the video, for people who are stuck down the rabbit hole into this, and I appreciate those who do listen to this. The 20-minute from cold video, I started off, did a 20-minute interval at 200 watts. Now, this is not Zwift related, this is straight Tax hardware, using the Tax software. I do a lot of Zwift stuff, because that's just what I ride. This was Tax software, so if any issues I reported, they could look at it straight away from their internal systems and internal process. 200 watts erg mode on the Flux was exactly 200 watts on the stages. My stages actually reads correctly, which is a beautiful thing. So I was really, really happy with that. Then I was into the 10-second sprints. Now, I alluded to this, I mentioned this in my Tax Flux video, the unboxing, first ride and discussion, that it doesn't pick up the initial power spikes. It was about 5 to 10 seconds lag behind and doesn't get the peaks. Again, I saw exactly this in my second tests. Sheep truck, Australia. Oh, now roadworks, so the sheep are overtaking us. So my second set of tests in those 10 seconds brackets showed exactly the same as well. I'll quickly put the graph up here if anyone's watching, and you can see a bit of the lag there between the two. It's been fed back to Tax, it's been fed onto James Gill, Titanium Geek, been fed onto DC Rainmaker as well, just so we can both, Ray covered this in his review as well, just so we can sort of see what's going on. Wahoo had a similar issue with their kicker, but had addressed this in firmware with the acceleration. I think they sort of over-reported power in the acceleration phase, which made it more accurate to a true power meter on a bike. So it sort of gave you those watts at the start and then took them away. Very, very interested to see what Tax do with this. Now, I'll drop a bombshell here. I think we're going to deal with either Fluxgate, there's going to be a major issue with the Flux, or there's nothing at all here. I'm having a bet either way. Fingers crossed, nothing to worry about. Your thoughts, Von? You rode the Flux for 50 minutes or so the other week, and then you jumped on the Neo. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Flux one day, Neo the next. Really love the build. I love how the bike sits on it.
It's more
nice
stable.
And steady
Yeah.
in comparison to the Neo.
The Neo's a bit of a wobbler.
But I love how the Neo rides on Zwift in that virtual environment. The smoothness was great. Yeah.
Okay, so you
I like
take
the build on the Flux, but I'd take the Neo over that any day.
For the ride. Okay, so you go for the premium experience. There's our sheep again. There's no dogs in the dog boxes underneath their truck. I'm not sure if they're allowed to have dog boxes in there anymore. Yeah, so more on that soon. Hopefully I'll have my new Flux this week and I'll get the power data out. But really, really good to be collaborating with DC Rainmaker, who's obviously the industry leader, and also James Gill, who is, so we've got all markets covered. Ray's out of the US, well, out of Paris now, but an American presenter, James the UK presenter, and I'm an Aussie. So all angles covered. It's a bit like, I call it sort of almost X Factor. You know, it's all in different markets and we deliver a bit differently, but we're all singing the same song, pretty much. Rightio, sound check on trainers. I'll just quickly cover that. People are asking, how loud is the Flux? It's really hard, and Ray has covered this himself. Again, this is a discussion we've been having. How to measure the sound of a trainer, and there are so many variables that go into it. But I've got to say, look, all you can do is compare them with each other in the same environment. So on the Neo, we could have a discussion at 300 watts, we could have a just general discussion at 400 watts, no problems, yeah? We were cooking dinner the other night, and
with the Flux,
but the overhead fan was louder.
Oh, yeah.
But we're still having a conversation at 300 watts. Only a short conversation, but it was still a conversation.
Why were you puffing, Shane?
Nah. It's not, so it's a little louder than the Neo, it's not as loud as the Kicker, it's about the same as a Drivo, but that means nothing unless you've actually tried it. So if you can get on, and my default reply to a lot of people is test ride. A good company these days, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, because most of my audience is up Northern Hemisphere, and it's winter. Your local bike store should have these on the shop floor, and they should be selling these things, like that. Yeah. So go test ride, whatever you can get a hold of, and make sure you got a solid warranty as well. So Festi 500 released on Strava this week. Woohoo!
Yeah!
So we've been talking about Festi 500 for a while. Von's super keen because you've got so many Ks in the legs, it's not funny.
I gotta ride off these gingerbread I've been eating in the car.
Let's just keep eating cherries, we're good.
Yeah.
So that comes up this week. Join the Lama Strava army. I've set up a Lama group or a GPLama group on Strava. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but I'll put a link below. Join in. Look, with these new developments and people approaching me for the channel, if we can maybe do a giveaway or some sort of incentive in there as well.
Yeah, cool.
So join in Lama Strava Army. I'll put a link here. Well, the image here anyway, and the Strava link is below. So join in. I'm not quite sure where Strava are going with the social side of things. They're sort of moving very slowly. I think it's still untapped potential. That's why I've spent a lot of time working on, making sure my Strava is nice. There's videos, not videos. There's links in there. There's discussions, and there's good photos of Australia and good ride descriptions. And making sure I give people the kudos. Like anyone who did the Jindy Letap, I sat there and clicked about 2,000 times. So good job, everyone.
Good job.
I think I got RSI on my finger, like kudosing, but.
Yeah, and let us know where you're going to do your Festi 500. Do you have some good routes?
If you're in Northern Hemisphere, let us know the struggle. I'm sure you'll be doing it in the ice and the snow, north of the wall, on Game of Thrones. That's what's north of isn't it?
North of us.
North of us is the wall, and the White Walkers. So let us know, because for us, look, to be honest, we're quite lucky. The only thing we really have to deal with, there might be snakes, and emus and roos and things like that. We can deal with those. The heat is the biggest killer. The dehydration, we got to remember last year I was out on a 43 degree day, finishing off my last 40 Ks for one of the days, and oh my God, it was a killer. I can't complain too bad because we're in just, shorts and t-shirt. It's quite nice. But whereabouts are you doing it? Let me know below. If it's in the snow, double kudos. But also join the Lama Strava army and we can give you kudos for the rides and stuff. And just tag my name in that, tag Von's name in that. You can tag on Strava using the mobile app.
I think also in the Strava army, there's an option for discussion.
Okay.
So, we can maybe you can try it out. I don't know what it's like. I haven't really played around with it. Let's give it a try.
Yeah, cool. So over to anyone else who knows more about that than us. But I'm sure I see the potential there. A bit like when we first got the kicker. I saw the potential. I didn't know where it was going to go, and look at what's happened now with that. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping Strava will continue to take off with their challenges, even introduce things like virtual challenges, and we could do running challenges as well when Zwift iOS running comes along.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Christmas list. So a few days out from Christmas, I'll try and get this video up ASAP so we can start discussing things. I think last year I published a blog post on what to get for cyclists for Christmas.
Yes.
Let's scrap that because it's now 2016.
Oh yeah, it's a whole new year.
Let's start again. So my Christmas list for what I'm going to buy, I'll buy myself one. I think I'm getting the PowerTap P1 pedals.
Okay.
So I can, again, more data, more collection. They've been proven to be a scientifically proven and tested and double blinded about being a worthy competitor or a worthy option to select versus an SRM for lab tests. They did the same check on both stages and vector power meters, and not the same result.
Okay.
I'll link those two articles below as well, but that pretty much sold me on, hey, these pedals are going to be pretty good. And that way I can still use the stages or a 4i or a crank-based power meter as well as the pedal power meters. I'm not too keen on going the different cleats. I'm a Shimano man through and through for cleats.
It's a whole new world, Shane.
But for science, for data, for...
I'm doing it for science.
Oh, God, yeah, I'm going broke for science, but... Anyway, I think I can get a good deal on those pedals for about 1,300 Australian. I think I've seen them for maybe 1,400 from Pro Bike Kit.
Yeah, they've got some good deals.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll let you know what I buy, and I'll cover them because, again, whatever comes across my desk, I want to talk about. And if that helps everyone else, cool. So, Christmas list for you, Von.
Okay, what do I need? I need to purchase some new bar tape. So
That's a cheap
I
one.
went and got a bike fit just before we went to Sydney. I didn't get to implement any of the changes while I was up there. So I'm going to retake my bars, have a nice new comfy setup up front there.
Yep.
And I need some new cleats as well. Since you were talking about cleats, that reminds me, I had a look at them this morning and they were wrapped.
Yep.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
Scuffed up. I need to swap them out.
A couple of things there. So if you're buying something for a cyclist for Christmas, bar tape is usually a pretty good one.
Oh, okay.
Lizard skin, love that. It's grippy. There's a few other lizard skin
does
style,
wear, though.
but it's grippy. It does wear out, but it's, trust me, people will know, if they've gone to lizard skin, you just can't go back. I've gone to cork blue tape on the TCR. Nah, not a fan.
It looks pretty though.
It looks nice, but I've got to go blue lizard skin. Or, I mean, lizard skin's a brand. There's other brands that do the sticky bar tape as well. So look into that. And even just for sprinting, you really get a good grip on it. There's no loose slippage at all. It's
Yeah, I
just
have sweaty hands a lot, so
gloves with that helps as
I
well.
wear gloves, and yeah, that tacky against the glove surface works quite well too.
Yep. So Christmas list for cyclists. If you need any ideas, bar tape,
Yeah.
cleats. If you know what cleats they use, both are probably under $30,
Yeah.
Australian or US or Euro or whatever you buy in wherever you are. They're relatively cheap. And another one. I had a young junior email me the other day, under 15, out of the UK, and he said, Shane, look, I need financial help to go buy a bike and to become a professional cyclist. Loved his initiative that he emailed me. I don't think it's that beneficial just to send some kid money. My reply was, mate, I'll give you something better than money. I'll give you advice. That's what I can give you right now. Keep riding. Don't worry too much about sponsorships, because if your work ethic on the bike is good and you're training well and you really will make it, you'll be noticed and people will come along for the journey. And just be active in the sport though. Join a club.
Opportunities will come along.
Yeah, get yourself a coach and just get some good mentors. Also study the sport, because there's a lot of history in the sport, we know that. And the last one is get the book called Tactics for Racing Cyclists. I think it's called Tactics for Racing Cyclists. Again, I'll link the book
Below.
just here, and I'll link the book below. A brilliant read, even for the non-competitive cyclist. A lot of the things in here will tell you what's going on in a race. Why the breakaway? Why is the teammate chasing his teammate in a breakaway and forcing others to work hard as well? There's a lot of stuff that can go on in a bike race.
Yeah.
And there's a particular, I won't give it away. If you want, go buy the book or grab the online version. But I told this young junior to go grab this book. I think it's one of my favorites. And there's one scenario that took me about 2 or 3 reads to understand what was going on with this race. Yeah, anyway, I won't give it away. It was about a breakaway to chase down, and it was really good.
Cool.
Super cool. But you'd never, like looking at the race, you'd never know. But it was about being in the inside. So I told this junior to go buy that book, and hopefully that was good value.
I would need to do some more movies, some more Lama rides movies.
Yep, we watched, was it Stars and Water Carriers, Superstars and Water Carriers last
I've got
time.
some time coming up now.
Yep, so
some
now,
holidays, so let's sit down and watch some more.
So in doing some more research on that and pulling down my all my copies of movies onto these things, the iPad, most of the movies are up on YouTube. So go and search. I think it's Overcoming, CSC one. I think I mentioned this before, but yeah, go check them out on YouTube. They're all there, but we'll have to look into a few of those. Speaking of movies, we had a red carpet event this week.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Now, it's not cycling related, but it is Australiana, and we have a family connection there with Nelson Wass, the producer. It's Wass Productions that do Red Dog.
Red Dog. So we saw Red Dog True Blue.
It's the sequel to Red Dog. It's about Australian dog.
Prequel. Sequel is afterwards.
It's
prequel.
Oh, this is the before.
Yes.
So it's the Empire Strikes Back Star Wars Episode 1, where he dresses up as Darth Vader and runs around with a sword, with a lightsaber. No. It's about a dog in the Pilbara, which is the mining in Western Australia. So, you know, while I work from Perth, it's well north of that and looks nothing like Perth.
They did have a cut of Perth at the start of it.
Oh, yeah, Perth CBD. Yeah, it felt like we were home, even though Perth's not home. I love that city. But this was the prequel to that, so the second movie. Pretty good. We sort of walked into the red carpet because our connection with Nelson, and they sort of ushered us off to the side. We couldn't even walk on the red carpet. It was a very, it's like
But in true Aussie style, you could get a meat pie and a beer.
Yeah, meat pies and beers provided. And yeah, they had the dog there. The actual dog from the movie came along. But a good story, good family movie. And it was kind of interesting. I've never been to a movie premiere before. And I couldn't stop eating the popcorn.
Yeah, I overate. That was great.
Yeah. Good stuff. So that's a movie. So cycling related, no. Australian related, yes. Lots of Australiana. They do put a nice, good spin on the outback of Australia.
Yeah.
That it's very pretty and open, and there's roos jumping around. Man, the reality is a little different to that.
Yeah.
It's not Hollywood. There's flies. It's freaking hot. Yes, things will kill you, and sometimes roos will grab hold of your dog, and you have to punch him in the face. As we saw there. That's brilliant, that clip. The Australian guy punching a roo in the face that was, made me proud to be Australian. Sorry, dog lovers, but he saved the dog.
Saves the dog.
Yeah. So we went to the Wine Arc this week in Sydney after being emailed by John there. I didn't quite get the link between me and wine, given I don't drink, but it turns out he's a Swifter, and he was at WhatsApp. So we went and had a look at the setup they had there. Perfect indoor environment. It was temperature controlled, humidity controlled. I would have loved to set up the Flux and do my unboxing there.
Oh.
So yeah, maybe next time we have a bit of fun doing something like that. But I'll have to catch up with John next time. He wasn't in the office when I called in.
But you did end up crossing paths.
We did cross paths. Have a look at this. When I was on the side of the road capturing that time lapse, John had his GoPro on and caught me standing there on the side of the road. Okay, we better leave it there. The rain's really kicking in. Comment below any of the questions we've had. And thanks for coming, Von.
All right.
You didn't have a choice, did you?
Choice.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.